Work. Marcus, what do you got, baby?
3 calls. One person, she has a whole lot going on. Wouldn't let me get off the phone.
I've heard that one.
But she has a house in New York or New Jersey that she wants to sell. She wants to buy another one in New York, and she has 2 properties here on Maui. She's struggling. She's in a situation where she can't. The septic tank at her New Jersey property is no good, and she needs to get it fixed before she can sell the property. And I don't know what to do about that. Sounds
Do you have any idea what the value of the property is in Jersey?
I don't know. We never got to that.
Condos or houses in Maui?
1 condo and 1 house in Maui, a condo down here in Kihei.
She want to sell one of those?
I tried that. She said she'd never sell her stuff in Maui.
Excellent. That means she needs to buy one more here.
Yeah, she said if anything, she would buy more. She
Excellent.
specifically said that.
Oh,
When I suggested selling a place in Maui.
even better.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, our cap rates on Maui are probably going to be the best in the nation. They're still, they're probably 5% ish, but they're still way better than everywhere else, which is nice. So yeah, that's lay down. It's right there for you.
Awesome.
So the septic tank one, it's a hard one. What you may want to do is get on Kelly command.
Mm-hmm.
Look for who's.
Sorry, let me record this up.
Yeah, no problem. Are we back on?
Yeah.
Okay. I know Marcus tapes us. We gotta watch it.
No, only I will hear it. Trust me.
So a couple different ways. First I go on to Kelly command, find out who's the big dog in the area of Jersey. Jersey is a horrible place. You might want to find exactly where it's at. Take a look and see who's up there. I personally cross-reference what they say in command to go to Zillow.
Okay.
Go on Zillow, see what the reviews are, see how many properties they've sold in the last 12 months. You look for a Keller agent if you can. If you can't, there's no one good there, go outside of it. Talk to them, say, hey, here's the scenario I have. I have this client who wants to sell their house. I'm guessing in Jersey it's going to be a minimum of $700,000, unless it's in some hodunk place in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be minimum $700,000. The agent may have a great option. They may have a contractor that they work with that will do the work and put something on title or some kind of lien or some kind of deal to make it happen. If you talk with a good enough agent, they will figure out a way. So if someone calls me with that same problem here, I have a scenario. Yeah, so that's what your mind is always be thinking of. Let me talk to the others and let's see if we can get together, mastermind, figure out how to make something work. Now you become her savior. Guaranteed she's never going to use anyone else but you. More importantly, she's on the East Coast, so she might continuously buy and sell stuff out there. You can get 25% referrals all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Take it, baby.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
how we do it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sorry, that was like just kind of going. I had 3 calls that I left messages for, and I gave them text messages, and then I had 1 in phone conversation.
Okay, how'd the conversation go?
It was good. It was kind of veering all over the place.
Okay.
My aunt that I haven't talked to,
Yeah,
but now
best
she knows
person.
that I got my license. So
Excellent. You tell your aunt that you're hungry for business?
yes.
And did she say she's going to tell people about you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, baby. Nice one. Good job, guys. You weren't here, so I can't really question you on that one yet. Did you make calls in the last 20 minutes?
No, or, yes, but not lead gen calls.
Okay. Okay, so where are we at? We did our handwritten notes. We went a little backwards today. Get your head in the game. Successfully marketing and servicing your listings is very important to you and your client. So this is kind of the meat that I was telling you guys about. We're going to be talking about staging the property, marketing the listing, and communicating with your sellers. Your service to sellers begins the very moment you take the listing agreement with them. You are now their advocate, their agent, and their fiduciary. You guys know what fiduciary means?
Financial consultant.
Yeah. It's
Affiliation.
so what it is a person who is legally or ethically entrusted to manage money or property between two or more properties. Let me tell you guys, this is really the number one reason why a realtor will lose his license, his or her license, is by not covering the fiduciary responsibility with your client. So, great example. So when you guys took the class for getting your real estate license, the reality, none of that taught you how to sell real estate, correct? It taught you the legal examples of everything. And it should have pounded in your head the fiduciary responsibility you have. It is the most important thing as a realtor. It's like your Jiminy Cricket, your conscience. So remember that. If Jiminy is making some kind of weird noise, go ask somebody because something might be wrong. And it's really important that you always try to keep that intact. And it'll help your reputation in the long run. So let's get through that. So staging the property. And go to page 15 on your book. Anybody know why staging is important?
So, like your first impression, or
Yeah, in some houses, I like to call it the cluttered mess, or the very personalized touch. So you walk into a house, you walk into Auntie's house, what do you see right off the bat?
Clutter.
Clutter for sure, most of the time.
Weird paintings or
Weird paintings,
figurines.
pictures of family,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what staging is going to do, it's basically presenting the best face of the home. You know, it's maximizing the spaciousness of the home. It's allowing visitors the buyers to envision themselves in the home instead of seeing the seller at every turn. So, you know, when I walk into a house and I'm doing a listing presentation, I always have a book, just an empty pad, and I'll say, let's have an honest conversation. I like to call this the God conversation. Do you want me to be really straightforward with you and tell you what to do? Or do you want to do this on your terms? Because if they want to do it on their terms, that's cool. We're going to let them. House is going to sit on the market longer, more than likely. If they're going to listen to me and the professional advice that I could bring to them, I am going to tell them a couple of things. Declutter, depersonalize. So taking pictures off the wall of family, or not off the wall so much all the time, but definitely if they have pictures all over the place, taking that off, changing it around. If they have if it's filled up, decluttering. And there's a couple ways to declutter. Craigslist, garage sale, throwaway, Salvation Army, or my personal favorite, getting a storage unit. Because if they're staying on island, or they're moving off island, it's a great idea if they want to take all their items that you put it in a nice safe place for them, which is not the garage, because the people come and look in the garage. So I say, hey, $45 a month for the next 3 months, let's store all this stuff in there. It's going to make it much easier for when you pack. And you always want to, it's positive reinforcement. So when we sell the property, it'll be easier for you to get out. When we show the property, we're going to get offers faster. It's positive reinforcement. It's always positive reinforcement. So you need to believe that truthfully, and you want to always bring that out to your client. So when you're doing that, staging will make more sense to them. What other reasons do you think there are for staging?
You don't want it to be necessarily empty either, because that can be too, sterile or just not.
Some people can't imagine.
Yeah.
You know, there's very few I think it's 13% of the world is creative, uses a creative mind. So that's a real small amount. Think about that. And and people just can't see what you could do.
I never heard that. That's
Yeah, it's pretty
powerful
powerful. It's really
stuff.
powerful. I mean, that's why we have, so least amount of actors, YouTube, and things like that. It takes a very creative type person, writers, things like that. So here's a guess. I want you guys to think about this. In staging a room, what do you think are the 3 most important rooms?
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Living room.
Yeah.
Master.
Boom. Gotcha. So in order, it is living room, kitchen, master bathroom. Who do you think is the most important person to appeal to?
Wifey.
Thank you. It really is. She may not have the final decision on a place, but I promise you this. She's very much involved, and if she hates the place, good chance you're not buying it. A man can say, okay, mom's happy, I have my man room that I get to have, and they don't really care about the rest of the house. Majority. Not everyone, majority. So you want to make it appealing to that type of way. The living room is so important because that's where you're going to entertain all the time. And as everyone knows, most parties ends up in a kitchen anyways at some point or another. So those are why this 1 and 2. They say that stage home, 30% of realtors report a 1 to 5% increase in the offer. That's awesome. So I will say this: on the mainland, staging is super inexpensive. It's like under $1,000.
Yeah.
It's super cheap. Not so much here. I have some great stagers I use, and every once in a while I get a really killer deal on something, especially like if she has an extra boatload of inventory at the time. But realistically, it's about $2,500 for 3 months. And then she usually charges like $250 a month after that. So it's just prepping your client.
And what size is that, a condo or is that a
No,
house?
it's basically a 1,200 to 1,500 square foot house or a condo. Condos actually I get for somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800, depending. Once you have a really good relationship with your stager and you're doing more than 1 a year, you're going to get better deals, of course.
And then it's part of your system. You basically, I'm just curious, what's the deal? You call your stager, you say, here's the property, you meet with them once, that you go together, they take a look, and then at that price point, you can just trust that they'll take care of it?
Yeah, it's almost entirely. So I don't have a super creative eye. I will tell you how to fix the stuff that's in your house to make it work. But if you want a stager, I have zero talent that way. I say, let me bring my stager in. I do not recommend staging for all places. Vacation rental condos, I never recommend it for, because there's too many in and outs people and they can destroy the stager stuff. I usually recommend it for houses that are empty. And you will find, you list a lot of empty houses, because it's usually, the people that are starting to sell houses, you'll see a lot of times are investors who are they had a really bad rental experience. They're like, screw this, I don't want to do this anymore. And they're going to put it up on the market, and there's usually nothing in it. There are also houses that have been abused over the years. And you have to have a real conversation. We all want that deal really bad. I mean, I still really always want every single listing I go in for, no matter what the price, from $250,000 to $10 million. I wanted that. But I also try to be realistic, meaning I walk in and the house is just horrible. I got to figure a real nice way to say, hey, this is what we're really going to have to do to get top dollar. I have had people move, I have convinced them to move out of the house during the listing. I have had the house professionally cleaned, and I mean deep cleaning, and it sells the house. Now, you don't have to do that, sure.
Who covers these costs?
100% of the seller.
So you're not paying for that?
Nope.
Okay.
Now, can get creative. I have clients who will say, I can't afford it. Great. My commission is now 6.5%. And now I'll keep you 3.5% and I'll pay for the staging. But when you do that, you better have a darn good ironclad listing agreement, meaning they can't cancel for 6 months, something like that. I am a believer, this is my personal belief, on all of my listings, I give a 1 day out clause. And this, I sell it this way, it's a great sales pitch, right? I go in, I say, hey, listen, if we're not getting along, I don't wanna work with you, and I'm sure you don't wanna work with me. I have a 24-hour get out of jail. Boom, we're done. It's over. I'm not going to lock you into a listing where you don't want to work with me, or I don't want to work with you. And sometimes personalities just don't click. But I am going to put my money where my mouth is every single day of the week by giving you 24 hours to get out of this deal. You can't use that if you're paying for anything. If you're paying for anything, I would want a minimum of 6 months. It shouldn't be that hard of a sale, to be honest, if you're putting out money. This is your business, only you can make the decision if that makes sense.
What is, so how would that 24-hour, that means any time in your 3-month listing, they could just say, I wanna stop, and how does the 24-hour thing work?
It's actually instantaneous, but you have to put at least 1 day on there according to HR guidelines in your listing agreement. They just call and say, hey Todd, you know what? We don't like you. You got bad breath. You stink. You're ugly. You're not showing my house enough. We don't think you're marketing enough. Whatever their reason is, I don't care. I let them out. It takes experience to do that. I mean, it takes guts to do that.
Yeah, because if you've put a bunch in, if you've invested 6 weeks or something, shown it to 20 people and just haven't had the right offer, then it's a loss. But it's a certainly good selling tool if you're competing against other listing agents.
So let me put it to you this way. If you have a seller who doesn't like you, doesn't feel you're doing the right job, they will make your life hell trying to show the property.
Yep.
They will be at the property, they will make comments, and they're just not gonna let you in when you need to be in, or they're gonna cancel last second. I'm too old for that crap. I don't want that in my life.
Did you always do that, or is that
No.
something from experience? Now you have the confidence to do it.
Yeah, but I also didn't have this. There was none of these kind of classes when I started in this industry. So I had to learn everything from scratch. It's funny. I think I took it from an agent. I think I took it from Gary Moore's, if I remember correct. He has a 1 day out. No, I'm sorry. It was old broker at Caldwell Banker, Jim Wagner. He used to have this crazy ad in Homes and Lands. I put my money where your mouth is. If you're unhappy with me, you can fire me, or you can have no fees for your. I'll sell your property for no fees if you're ever unhappy with me. And I just made it into my own. And I think Gary Moore's had like a 48-hour, and I happened to be the next person on a listing presentation while he was finishing up, and I heard the 48-hour pitch of you're done, and I'm like, well, if he could do 48 hours, I'm gonna say 24. I stumbled through it for that first presentation because I literally did it that presentation. I was like, yeah, I heard about Gary's 48 hours. I do 24 hours, and actually it's instantaneous. You don't want to work, we're done. Now, it sounded real goofy with the first time I said it, but I practiced it a lot, and it was really smooth when I go into a listing now. So it's not really more of a confidence thing, it's more of just how you want to build your business. Honestly, if I'm teaching you guys from right now forward, I tell you 24 hours. That's my personal opinion. You're very rarely going to lose a client. Very, very rarely, unless you're doing a bad job. My team is committed to do a very specific type of service. We like to call it the Ritz-Carlton service. It's the white glove service that I guarantee to all my buyers that are sellers. It's just what I really prefer. If you look on my Zillow, I have nothing but 5 stars. Nothing but 5 stars. And I'm really happy, and I want to make sure that that's how I build my business moving forward. Which it wasn't easy with 120 deals last year. Not easy to keep everyone happy, because you can't. But you're doing your best. Make sense? Let's go to page 15. The importance of staging. Who wants to read that? Anybody?
15?
Yep. First part.
Although you've discussed staging in your listing consultation. When it comes time to actually do it, some sellers show reluctance and raise objections. Stress how the home's appearance helps to achieve a quicker sale and higher price.
Very true. It's dead on. You're going to put it in a better light, and you're gonna sell it faster. Period. But I'm gonna be honest, guys. I staged less than 10% of my properties last year. We're lucky not to be on the mainland. We have a different type of property here.
Right.
We get away with it. So, yeah, it was probably right in that 10% area. Let's talk about some objections. How are you gonna handle the following objections? I don't see why this is so important. Who has an answer for that?
It'll neutralize the taste, it'll neutralize the appeal of the house, make it so that it broadens it to everyone who walks in the door. Make it much more likely that anybody who walks in will want to buy it.
Spectacular, Marcus. Those are great answers. Anyone else? Come on, Jonathan. What would you say?
What was it? Give me the objection again.
I don't see why it's so important to stage my house.
You know, staging, you've become comfortable here, and that probably looks good to you as is, but we want to broaden the audience. We want everybody that walks in to have their own vision of what this could be for them, and that's how it's going to sell, and that's how you're going to get multiple competing offers.
I might not go with that one. I might try holding you to
Maybe
might try
pushing
holding
it.
your feet to the fire on that one. But I loved everything to that last portion of the sentence.
Okay.
It was perfect. So if you want, here's what I would say. If you want to sell faster and for more money than your competing sellers, then you need to stand out in terms of condition. That's super simple. That's it. You gotta be, I like to call it winning the lotto. You're the one who gets the offer. And when the market shifts, that's gonna be real important. When there's, fortunately we have no inventory right now, or very low inventory. Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's okay.
This is slightly off, but here's a question for you. I'm a seller right now, for real, realistic on Maui. Got 1.5 million home, approximately.
Huh?
I'm thinking of selling, but I'm not sure. I'm open to it. What would you say based on the current market right now?
Oh, Lord.
Way off of subject, and I'll give you the good answer though on that. And that is a question I probably get once a week.
I actually
Kind of
realistically just got that, and I'm curious how accurate
Sure.
my answer was.
John, that's a great question. Let me just say this. Only you can make that decision if it's time to sell. What's your reasoning for selling? Are you planning on moving into a new place? Are you planning on buying something on the mainland? Because I want to find out what's their hot topic. And I am going to take advantage of it once I know that hot topic. We're going to go a little bit more generalization. So what I will say is, John, Mark, Bob, whatever it is, the market is awesome right now. We have low inventory. We have never had a better chance to get top dollar for your property if you're thinking of selling. Now, we have been in a market, an upswing, for 11 years right now. What we know factually, the only market in the last 100 years to go past that stopped at 12 years. Most markets run right between 8 to 10. That's our average. We're past average right now. Like it or not, it's because of the amazing economy we're in right now. Here's the cool part. This economy should stay till about summer. Summer hits, we start election time. And what we know in the past is election is usually a pretty flat market. We don't see much up or down during that time. Then I will throw in my own interjection. I don't really care who becomes president. I don't think it matters. But what I will tell you is this. Anything that goes up must eventually come down. You can't keep going up forever. We see markets like San Francisco, LA, and New York have all made their turnarounds. And they've started to come down on some. New York's been in almost an 18-month turnaround. San Francisco's been in a 6-month turnaround. This is the market that's been the best market in the history of the US ever. And we're seeing that make the turn. LA, as we see, has been soft too, and now they're starting to actually come back around. It has to happen. So if you're trying to get top dollar, and you're thinking you want to get out, this might be your best possible chance. How's that?
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
That was very, very.
And it's what I truly believe too. I never get into, I try not to get into politics with my clients because I'm pretty sure we're gonna differ. So I'm a super, super conservative liberal. Strange, I know. I'm a Democratic at heart. I have no problem with what Trump's doing with our economy. None. Don't like him as a person, but holy crap, he is a smart businessman and has really made our economy go well. If I'm talking to an intelligent person, they understand that. The majority is because, in my marketplace, different in other markets, my marketplace, the majority of my clientele are hardcore Republicans. So I'm real careful on what I say about Trump, to that. Extremely careful. Because they're hardcore about it too. So you just don't get into that, but find a good, catch their eye. And they love conservative liberals, a liberal with a brain, they love that. Because if you're on Facebook, there's not a ton of us that way.
While there's that famous line about not being able to be a crystal ball reader, what you said is actually helpful in the sense that it would be unprecedented that our market would still be strong 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Just in terms
Yeah.
of history. Maybe
Correct.
it will. But if
And
they
I
want
only
an
use
honest
history.
answer,
I
yeah.
only use history.
Yeah.
And it's kind of my get out of jail free card, because I'm not saying yes, it's going to happen, no, it's gonna. If somebody asks my personal opinion is this market crashes after November. That is my personal opinion. But I don't think the crash is gonna be that bad.
Because of our inventory situation.
No, because we already got destroyed in 2008. We're not seeing 2008 in most of our lifetimes. Some of you younger ones will get that, but most us older ones, we're not going to see another 2008. That happens every 50 years. We're going to see the regular 8 to 12% drop, like we see at all times. So let me ask you this, how do you defend that situation when somebody says, well, the market's going to drop and I want to buy on the low end? Does anybody have an idea what you say to that?
Interest rates are very low.
Interest rates, stop. Perfect answer. That's one good answer. Anything else? Because I get this question all the time as well.
Number one, you can never time the bottom. You can never time it. You can always time it looking backwards, but you can never time it while you're in it. You can never time the top while you're in it. But historically, if you plot all the bottoms and you plot all the tops, the next bottom is going to be not as low as the last bottom. If the bottoms all go like this and the tops all go like this, they look like railroad tracks.
Now that comes from a very educated man with an MBA, you can tell, because he just used very specific wording. I like to use gun wording. Here's what I say. Historically, we're probably going to look at an 8 to 12% drop. Right now, Maui's appreciating at 13% a year. So if we go 1 year before we drop, we went up 13%, we dropped 12%. You win if you would have bought today. Win 1%. And actually, if you do the real math, it's 3.5% because it's unimportant. But you're up. So you're not going to lose much either way. So these are conversations you guys are going to start hearing nonstop. Market's going to drop. The market's going to get better. Whatever it is, you got to come up with an answer and make sure you have good scripts on that. Okay? Sorry, we went way.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. No, it's okay. Because these are great things. Like I said, I think this is one of the most important of the classes you're going to take. Because this will make your career. Okay? Do we really have to make this repair? Oh my God, So I'm fighting. I have a $2 million listing right now that I fight with my clients nonstop about one repair in their house. Baffling. It's freaking baffling. And I bought the house for them for $1.2 million. They've done quite well on it. But nobody wants to make repairs.
What's
What do you guys
the
say?
repair?
They disconnected the hot tub. So
Ah.
it's a small plunge pool
Yep.
next to the pool. And it's going to cost $15,000 to replace.
Okay.
I said, there is nobody buying a $2 million house. Once they get the inspection report, they're not going to make you do it.
Right.
Let's do it now.
Precisely.
And he's like, we'll negotiate it. I was like, quit being a hardhead. Let's do it now so it's less to discuss later.
Right.
And he won't do it. So You come to a point where your conversation no longer makes sense to have with a client, you make the decision, do you want to keep trying to sell the house? I'm going to keep selling the house because two things, it's exactly in my farm area, and it's $2 million. It's a nice big fat paycheck. So, you just gotta
But he is gonna have to fix it.
100%.
After the
And-
home
and
inspection, he's gonna have to fix it.
Poured this into him from the day I looked at the house to the day we signed the listing, and we have regular conversations.
Yep.
And I bring it up, and he dismisses it. I'm like, cool.
Okay.
But I put it in his brain. It's coming. Now I'm not gonna tell buyer's agents about it. I mean, I tell them it's not connected.
Yeah, you
That's
have
all
to
I
tell
do. Yeah. But I'm not gonna tell them, hey, request to be fixed. That's not
No,
my
no, no.
fiduciary responsibility to do. Okay. Who wants to give me, do we really have to make that repair? I'm looking at somebody with a London shirt on. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you would have, I mean, you want the house to be in the best shape, you know, if not, they're just gonna keep negotiating down. So.
Hear that last part?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna keep negotiating down.
Yep.
It's true. Anyone else have something on that? Anyone wanna try to jump on this? Anyone? No?
You're going to have to fix it anyway, because there's something coming up called a home inspection. And if you don't fix it now, and you have to fix it later, it's gonna look like you didn't wanna have it fixed. It's gonna look bad on you, you know? So, get it fixed now. It'd be great if you had a home inspection and it came back absolutely clean.
So I like to ask my sellers to get a home inspection at the listing.
Yep.
I will tell you right now, less than 25% do it. That's okay. It's cool. Some do it. And then we get everything repaired right off the bat.
Yep.
And then I put it in an associated docs.
Yep.
On the MLS. If you guys look at any one of my listings, pretty sure I have more MLS docs than anyone else in their listings. I fill everything in there. I get the seller's disclosure up front, and any repairs, any information I could throw into that listing, I do. Because then I don't gotta get pestered with calls I don't really wanna answer. Or questions, because it's all there. So the more preparation up front, the better. So here's what the book tells us, and I actually really agree with this one. We can sell it just the way it is, but likely is take longer, and we probably won't get as much money. My recommendation is to have it repaired so that we can get the best price possible in the shortest amount of time. Choice is yours. What would you like to do? Make the repair or take longer to sell? How do you like that last question?
Love it.
I am a super soft salesman, so I do practice being more aggressive with my sellers, and because I'm a very soft type of person, I practice this non-stop because I hate dead silence. You know, it's kind of the joke. I'm like a girl that way. I don't like dead silence in a room. It freaks me out. My personality is everyone's happy and fun. So I really work really hard on these scripts of, do you want to take longer to sell? For some reason, 4 years ago, that was hard to say. Now it's, do you want to take longer to sell? I say it just like that. I put it to their court. You throw the ball in their court, make them make the decision. Yeah, we'll talk about some of their answers later at another point. What can we sell, why can't we sell the house as is?
Top dollar. I won't sell fast.
I always like to say this, it costs about $300 to paint a room, right? Somebody walks into that house, they smell that paint, you just got $2,000 more on your price for $300. Is that worth your investment? So there's a lot of houses that I would say the cheapest thing someone could do outside of having a deep clean in their house is paint. Paint plays with the emotional senses to a human. They smell it. Makes a big difference. So on my own properties, when I go to put them into the rental market, like say I'm gonna put a new long-term rental in it, I have learned to use bleach while cleaning. Bleach lingers for like a week in an empty place. And when renters come in, they know their emotional senses goes or their the smell, the smell sense immediately comes to, oh, this place is clean. It's a trick, not a trick. It's a really smart way to do things. So that's one thing I always tell people: if you can do anything, paint. I guess we're using a clicker. Wow. Okay, sorry guys, we are really going behind. So marketing the listing, putting your listings on page 16. You guys have page 16 in yours?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, perfect. A 14-step marketing plan. You need to become familiar with signage rules on Maui. Pretty much you can put an open house sign anywhere in Wailuku and Kahului. Most places in Kihei, unless there's a subdivision, and actually I apologize, Wailuku, that is not the case. There are some subdivisions you can't.
Right.
But the majority you can. You cannot put a regular for sale sign in Wailea or in Kapalua. You must use approved type of signage.
Yep.
Important to know these things. Okay. We're going to go through these 14 things, but let me just tell you real quickly. And I know some of you might not be able to afford it right away when you take your first listing. Get a professional photographer. It's $250. I promise you my pictures look better than most 95% of agents' listings. Nothing makes me laugh harder than an iPhone picture. Especially this one. You know, they're taking a picture and in the mirror you can see the agent like this. Let me tell you what happens when I go against another agent, and I know who the agent is prior. Because I ask every lister, yes, I'm going to be interviewing 2 other agents before you. So either I want to be number 1 or last. But I don't really care. It's just my preference. If I know they're interviewing a couple other agents, I'm going to ask them who they're interviewing. It's amazing how many times they're going to tell me. If they use an agent who doesn't do the most professional things, I'm going to bring those pictures to them. I'm not trash talking that agent. I am showing reality. I'm not going to lie. I have been called to the carpet more than once by the association for doing this, and I'm okay with it because my principal broker agrees with it. I will bring their listing pictures, and I will bring mine. And I say, all I want to do is show you the difference. These are great pictures. Mine are professional. Professional pictures show up better on Zillow, Realtor.com, Reddit, Redfin, everything else. It looks better, shows better, has professional lighting. The majority of our homes are researched on the internet before an appointment is made. Now here's the really crazy stat. Ready for this one? 30% of vacation rental condos on Maui are sold or offer put in with the seller not being in the condo prior to the offer being made. Think about that. They're only buying on pictures. So do you want to have...
You mean with the buyer not being in the condo,
This-
trying to be offered being made?
What's that?
You said the seller, you mean the
The
buyer?
buyer not being in the condo. Apologize.
Yep.
Do you think selling a picture like this or having a professional photographer going to help your chances? Because we just want to have a better chance to sell our property. When we have a chance to sell a better property, we get a great Zillow review. A great Zillow review turns into somebody looking at all Zillow reviews and calling us. So, cause and effect. Cause and effect.
Some photographers also will charge you $250 to take it now, and if you don't have the $250 now, they'll charge you $350 at course of escrow.
So wait, I wasn't aware of that. I'd ask Bob at the end who does that, and I would take really advantage of that.
Because then you can pay.
Yeah, and it's worth every penny. Remember, guys, we're making $15,000, $20,000 on a deal. We can spend $250 to make us a professional. Who wants to take 1 through 5? In fact, we're going to go through the back. Jen,
Sure.
start 1 through 5.
All right, price the home competitively with the current market and price trends. Number 2, advise sellers on how to attract buyers by showing their home in the best possible light. 3, place for sale signs with property flyers easily accessible to drive-by buyers. 4, respond to all buyers' inquiries immediately. And 5, optimize the home's internet presence by posting your property in the Keller Williams listing system, KWLS, local and global MLS systems, and on social media with plenty of photographs and description of the property.
Awesome. Josh, 6 through 10, please.
Number 6, market the home on multiple websites, including your own site, My KW local office, and KW national sites to attract both local and out-of-town buyers. Number 7, post the home on your branded KW app. Number 8, create flyers and comment cards for viewers of the property. Number 9, distribute just listed notices to neighbors, encouraging them to tell family and friends about the home.
There's an extra binder in there.
And number 10, target your marketing to active real estate agents who specialize in selling homes in this neighborhood.
Excellent. Bob, 11 through 14, please.
Include the home in your company and MLS tours, like Caravan, allowing other agents to see the home for themselves. 12, create an open house schedule and market and host the open house to promote the property to prospective buyers. 13, target active buyers and investors in your database who are looking for homes in this price range and area. 13, provide the seller with weekly updates detailing your marketing efforts, including comments from prospective buyers, including comments and agents who have visited the home.
Awesome steps. These are literally the most perfect 14 steps. Like, there's a couple, it's funny as I was reviewing, there's a couple things I'm like, crap, I need to do this too. So it's good reminders. Okay. Number 8, creating flyers and comment cards for viewers of the property. I stink at designing stuff. I think I've told you I'm not super creative. There's a program in Command called Design. You pay a monthly fee, guys. Take advantage of the cool crap, cool stuff that they give to us. In Design, I think it's called. A monkey can use Design. It's so easy. It's super cool. It's drag and play. They spent like $10 million buying this product. I forget what it was off of. But real important. I highly suggest you learn Design because it'll make your life so much easier when it's creating some of your marketing pieces. And until you're listing 20, 30 properties at a time, if you're doing anything less than 5 at a time, Design's gonna be perfect for you. Once you're above that, you're really gonna need somebody to help you. It's just too much work all the time. But this is the best thing you can humanly get, and it's free. And you can do a couple things. You can send it to a printer if you want to have it done professionally. Our printer's printing color. So I made a deal with the company, and probably in another week or two, I'm going to have one kick-butt printer in Kihei. It's going to do some really cool things. So, if you want to really step up some of your marketing ideas, feel free, you can come and print in Kihei. How cool is that? I mean, it's gonna look as professional as you can get for a Xerox printer. So, highly suggest if you get a chance, start working that, because when you put a for sale sign out, you want to have a flyer box. Why?
So that even when you're not there, people can take a flyer, you can sell.
What do the flyers do for you though? Couple things.
It's your name out there.
Self-promotion,
Right.
which in my opinion is by far number one. Number 2,
Sell it even when you're not there.
that's it. Those are the 2 reasons to have flyers out. Self-promotion, sell your property. Remember guys, every listing should get you a minimum of 1 buyer. We track this on my team, and we get about 3, just above 3 buyers out of every listing. How awesome is that? House listings, I apologize. Condos, we haven't quite figured out our math on that. We're somewhere around 1 1/4 buyers on our condo listings, but our house listings, 3 buyers from every listing. This is why taking an overpriced listing that's not too overpriced isn't a bad idea, especially if it's in an area you want to specialize in. But you have to have some kind of promotional marketing to do that. I will also highly suggest your for sale signs are personalized and have your name and phone number on them. Now, If you wanna leave the office, go ahead. I'm an office rep, I am in the office all the time. I take a lot of those calls and I get free deals from it. So I highly suggest to you, you're spending money. I think it's about $125 for a for sale sign. Here's the best thing about that for sale sign. You can use it for a lot of properties for a lot of years. So personalize it. Females, you can put your picture on there, but let me just suggest we have a lot of creepy people on this island.
Okay.
Your call. I will never allow my team to have a female put a picture on there. I don't even have my males do it anymore. But I personally don't do it because we've had some weird crap has happened over the last couple of years. It's just smarter. Be safe. And for gosh sakes, at an open house, please have can of mace with you or something. It's just smart. We're very lucky where we live. We don't have a lot of these problems, almost none of them, but it only takes one. So just be safe. That's all I say.
Specifically for female agents, tell somebody where you're gonna be.
Thank you.
At what open house and what hours.
Yeah.
Tell them where you're gonna be.
One of my best friends is an agent. We've been friends for many of years, and even though her dad's an agent, she used to text me every time she was in an open house. So I always knew. So it was just a good place to
No,
have.
don't wanna freak you out or anything, but just,
Yeah.
look, I'm gonna be at this address between noon and 6.
Yeah,
There,
that's it. Super
That's it.
easy. And it,
Don't
like I said,
get
it's special
scared.
protection.
Yeah.
but they're
Please don't be scared.
don't get scared.
We don't
There's
have
just some
issues.
loony people,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Okay. Marketing steps. Okay. We're gonna go with one of your daily homes that you've previewed in the last